It is the season of love here at Popcorn and Root Beer, and I am joined by two analysts who are so excited to dive into February's best and brightest movies coming up. It is time to be quiet on set because we are diving in. It's Popcorn and Root Beer time. Let's get to it.
Grab your popcorn, dim the lights. It's movie time, we're taking flight. From the silver screen to your earbuds here, we're diving deep, so lend your ear. Action, drama, comedy, gold. Stories fresh and classics old. We'll break it down, scene by scene, from indie gems to Hollywood dreams. Roll the credits, let's begin. Talking movies, where do we fit in? Heroes, villains, twists and turns. The love for cinema always burns. Roll the credits, it's time to see what makes the movies magic for you and me.
All right, welcome one and all to another edition of Popcorn and Root Beer. I am your host, Steve Lawson, and joining me are two men who need no introduction, but I am paid to do so, so I'm going to introduce them anyway. Starting out with our guest. As you can tell, Trash is not here right now. Jake and I are, but Boss Man filled in for Seth. What's going on, man?
Steven, Jacob, great to be back with you guys. This really does feel like the season for movies. I know maybe not the blockbusters we were all hoping for in February, but we're at this point. NFL football season has come and gone. PGA still kind of getting up into gear, and NASCAR just about here this week. So been watching a lot of movies, been kind of snowed in for the last couple weeks. So excited to break it down and hopefully make a little money for the people as we begin this awesome journey out there on the prediction markets for the season that has been heating up, boys. Prediction markets are here, and I'm glad we've been ahead of the curve for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have been here, especially in terms of the entertainment markets. And Kalshi is especially. We were kind of one of the first people to embrace Kalshi as like a sponsor, as a go-to betting market. And then they kind of did us dirty, but that's neither here nor there. But it's totally fine. Sometimes these hoes ain't loyal. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Of someone who is incredibly loyal. He is a married man, so please don't try anything, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Parry, what's going on?
Yeah, like Steve said, I am married. Try whatever you want, though. You're just going to get some funny reactions. I may swing. I don't know. Back off. I'm taking. But yeah, Seth said it all. Football season's over. Golf's kicking up. Movies are starting to come out. Some ones that I'm excited for. A couple that we're going to talk about today that I'm really excited for. So, it's that time of the year where, like Seth said, it's been cold. Over the next week here in Illinois, though, it's going to be like mid to high 50s. I might go golfing tomorrow. I don't know.
February is a weird month, and it's why March is a terrible month, I think, especially for New Englanders, because February gives you these teasers. Like even today was kind of 40, 43 here, and like stuff starting to melt. It's starting to feel like that the hope of spring is coming. And I think because of that happening kind of in February, you expect it to just happen in March. In March, it never does. March is just an extension of winter. And it's my least favorite month of the year because it should be warm. It's not. But one thing I am very excited about, and I think all of us here are excited about, is the IBT Entertainment family. You can go from a background extra to part of the main cast by joining the IBT Entertainment family. It is free to join. You'll get access to our analysts, our picks, memorabilia giveaways for no cost. If you want to upgrade to the paid membership, you will get access to our full betting cards, the betting model, and all of our contests, including the Survivor 50 betting contest, which, Seth, you are a big Survivor fan. You and Rob did an episode where I took the week off. I handed the baby over to you. And tell the people a little bit more about the Survivor 50 contest.
Yeah, Survivor 50, hands in the fans, Steven. So really excited about this. If you are a longtime Survivor enthusiast, if you're, maybe getting just into it now, or maybe you're looking to come back into the series, it's a great time. You got a lot of returning legends coming back, 24 of them to be exact. Rob and I did break them all down. And if you want to throw up that graphic one more time here, Steven, we are partnering with our friends over at Bracketology. We are running this league. You make picks every single week, so it is a weekly commitment. First place, so you're going to win a Survivor 50 crew neck. Second place, Survivor board game. Third place, free ticket to any IBT event in 2026 or 2027 as well. You can get invested with all that and everything we have here in the IBT entertainment family at in-betweenmedia.com/chat. That's the place to be. It's free. It's fun. It's the place to hang out and enjoy everything from reality television to movies and TV discussion. So excited for that. And also, Steve, in addition to the IBT entertainment family, with this package, whether you join for free or whether you are a paid member, you also get access to the IBT football family, the IBT racing family, and the IBT golf family. Jake's been doing a great job over there with that as well. And Steve, shout out to you. You put out the first official version of the model for the IBT entertainment family this week. And it has all these movies we're going to talk about. We'll kind of preview some of what the model had to say, whether we should be betting over, under on these Rotten Tomato lines, or whether it's a no bet. So I really appreciate that. And it was a really cool tool to really help me craft my picks and predictions for tonight's show.
Well, I'm glad I could help you out, and I hope I can help the people out, of course. So that is enough of us plugging ourselves, though. It's time for us to talk entertainment, and there's some breaking news we got to cover, so I'll see you on the other side of this drop.
Red alert, something's crawling through the wires. Set it off, we're playing with fire. No alarms, no escape, just a moment before it breaks. Red alert, nowhere left to hide.
All right, red alert. It is time for some breaking news. We're going to start with a sad one, unfortunately. It's so breaking that I didn't even have a moment to begin to think about a graphic for this one. James Van Der Beek, star of Dawson's Creek, died today of colorectal cancer. So this feels like an opportune moment for us here at Popcorn and Root Beer, and me especially as a nurse, to put on my nurse's hat for all the viewers out there and tell everybody, please, please, please. I know it's not the most fun way to spend your weekday, but go get those colonoscopies, people. They are lifesavers. You have to do it once every 5 years. I believe when you turn 40, it's once every 5 years, and it could save your life. We have lost James Van Der Beek, as well as Catherine O'Hara. Her death was tied to her colorectal cancer, and Black Panther. Oh my God.
Chadwick Boseman lost to colorectal cancer. So please, please, please go get those colonoscopies. They will save your life. Have either of you ever gone for such a wonderful procedure?
I've not. Jake, you
Have
have?
I have. Yes. I had some concerning features on a scan. And so to be safe, went with the colonoscopy. It's not that bad, but it's not fun. But again, like Steve said, you should absolutely do it. To even, keep naming, celebrities or actors or actresses as well that we've lost, from colorectal cancer. Pele, Christy Alley, JoJo Edwards, John Bain. There's been so many. So it's certainly, again, it's not fun, but I will do it every time my doctor recommends me to do it, just because this is what could happen if we aren't checking ourselves and keeping ourselves accountable for our own health.
Yeah, so please take care of your health out there, guys. I have never had one done by a doctor, so that hasn't quite happened for me yet. But on to a more positive.
We're getting to those ages, boys.
Well,
right?
we're all
getting to those ages.
right around 30 years old, so we're getting close, and you wanna.
I'm on TRT. I'm already old. My body is already old.
It happens to the best of us. On a more positive note, or an interesting note, I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on this. Sinners breaks the Oscars nomination record with 16 nominations. We are covering Sinners next week on this show, but the reason why this isn't breaking news for me is because I'm like, is this a Sinners is goated situation, or is this more of a commentary on the weak movie slate in terms of award season? Or is it an indictment of the Academy themselves and they're not getting creative enough with their nominations? Jake, what do you think?
I think it's somewhere in between. When we look at the movies that previously had the record, the two most notable for most people our age are going to be Titanic, which personally I think is one of the worst movies of all time, but I know everybody absolutely loves it. And then La La Land. I think Titanic was an example where realistically, like my bias aside, it was worthy of all of those nominations, whereas La La Land felt a lot more like a weak movie class that it was competing against. So I think Sinners falls somewhere in between. I definitely think it's more on the, Steve, you and I have raved about it before. Like, we think it's a fantastic film, easily one of the best of 2025. Legendary, quote unquote, film, probably not, just because of the genre. But it's not like it's had super steep competition. I mean, One Battle After Another is, kind of the next closest in terms of nominations for good reason. But past that, it's like every movie that got nominated for a lot of these awards, I'm looking at them and I'm like, I'm picking Sinners here because the rest of these movies weren't that good.
Yeah, it's interesting that you can like break the record. And I just rewatched it, right? And I think one thing about Sinners that I'm really excited about is I do think it's going to have legs. I think this is a movie that will last generations and still be great, right? I think one thing about movies now that wasn't the case maybe 15, 20, maybe 20, 25 years ago is that these movies won't age poorly in terms of like VFX and things like that. Like you'll be able to watch Sinners for the rest of time and never be like, it's not a dated movie. You know what I mean? Like when you watch a movie from the 90s, it feels like you're watching a movie from the 90s or the 80s. Like there's just that look. High def wasn't invented yet. Seth, have you seen Sinners? Number one. And number two, do you count when you think of like the greatest movies of all time, are you usually rushing to see what the Academy Awards gave out, or are you looking somewhere else usually?
I'm definitely a little bit of a snob when it comes to not always following exactly what the Academy is putting down, right? Like I'm someone who definitely likes to zig a little bit. I'm definitely more of an indie movie person, I would consider myself. Have not seen Sinners yet. It is high on the list. Was trying to get the fiance to watch it just this past weekend, but we ended up down some different rabbit hole instead. So, I do, like I said this before in the IT entertainment family, and I think I got some clap back from both of you gentlemen that I just think 2025 in general was a little bit down for movies, specifically what was nominated for Oscars, right? So like Marty Supreme, we'll see. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. I can't comment on that, but like that was kind of recently released. And then like F1, we've kind of been there and done that with F1, right? Like I haven't seen that movie, so can't speak to that as well. But we had Ford versus Ferrari. We have had the whole Drive to Survive phenomenon happen here. So it's just like, I don't think it was a great class by any means that he was going up against.
Yeah, this is very much like a 2026 NFL draft class going on right now with the Oscars class. There's like two real stud prospects. You got Sinners, One Battle After Another, and then you got a bunch of role players coming in. I think that's where we're kind of at. The
highs are really high. The mid tier is just massive.
Yeah, it's really interesting that's kind of how it went. But speaking of great movies of all time, some of the GOATs, we're getting a new Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz in 2027, I believe they're saying it is going to release. Gentlemen, are you sat for the return of Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz in the Mummy universe?
I'm so back.
I'm so in. Yeah, I'm so in. Like, I'm so excited. Seth, are you a Mummy fan? Did you like the original?
I have seen parts of the Mummy, to be honest with you, but it's another one I've never seen straight through. Tom Cruise was not in any of the Mummies, was he?
He was in a remake of the Mummy, but not the original, not the original Mummy Return.
Not the 99 one.
Those are the GOAT. Were you born when The Mummy came out?
98. So I was 1 year old when the first one came out. So
Okay.
definitely need to take a stroll back in time. I know I've seen most of the Tom Cruise one. I believe I've seen parts of maybe either whether it's the return or just the original as well. But hey, I'm here for it, man. Usually, honestly, for the most part, they've done a good job with these revivals of these franchises, except for like, I think we can all say like, I love Jurassic Park as much as the next guy, but I think we've kind of been there and done that with that series.
Yeah.
So like it can go on too long, but like what's it been at this point? Almost 20 years since we've had one. So I'm down to catch a flick of it and see what they have coming out.
I'm hyped. Well, let's break down some movies that are coming out this month that we're excited about. We're gonna dive into some Kalshi cuts, and we're gonna give you a little preview of how the model works. See you on the other side.
Under the neon lights where the shadows dance, we ride the rhythm, take a chance. Blades of sound slicing through the night. Kalshi cuts, bringing fire to the fight. Kalshi cuts, sharp and clean, carving paths in a midnight dream. Feel the beat, let the echoes rise in the heart of the city.
All right. Welcome to Kalshi Cuts. And this is where we break down. You can go to Kalshi and bet on the prediction market of Rotten Tomatoes scores for movies, which is just insane to me. So we are going to start with Wuthering Heights, which is already getting backlash from people, but that has nothing to do with the Rotten Tomatoes score. Frankly, it's a critic score. And if critics like it, then, that's great. The over-under right now is sitting at 70%, which is, it seems low when you look at it up front, right? Like this is a period piece, two good actors, solid director, but the line is 70, and that has some people concerned, and one of those people is me. I have this as a no bet because the model has it at a 73. Seth, do you agree with the model, or are you kind of feeling the love of Wuthering
I'm
Heights?
with you. It's a no bet for me here. Like you really touched on it, Steve. Like these time pieces, these period pieces, as you said, like critics really seem to lean into them. And the model is on the over, like you said, at that 73% projection. Margot Robbie, though, she's just been way too hit or miss, I feel like, to really get invested with this one, right? Because you look back at the last couple movies, A Bold, Beautiful Journey, 37%, Babylon, 57%, Amsterdam, 31%. The only one that went over this was Barbie, which I think that's just an iconic movie in itself and had less to do with really Margot Robbie. So really when she's been asked to kind of carry the entire film, as she has in those other three ones I just discussed, it hasn't been super great. And like allegedly based on the book and what I've seen for reviews of the book, that like these are two characters that kind of are pretty toxic, right? Like you don't leave the book or the theaters liking either one of them. So I just think that critics are ultimately going to have kind of a sour taste in their mouth when they leave it and maybe not give it the highest score. So I'm going to lean towards the under. I don't want to bet against our new betting model though. So I'm with you. It's a no bet for me.
Yeah, the model has it. It's so close that like that's where it falls into that no bet zone. Usually, if it's within 5-ish%, I'm usually like
not a big edge there. Yeah,
yeah, it's just cutting it way too close. Jake, you're our show's romantic.
I am.
Do you have hope? Are you feeling like love's gonna conquer all, or are you like nah?
Yeah, not at all. It's already at 130 reviews. It's 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm smashing. Yeah, I'm just taking the under here. It's so hard once you have that many reviews to get back over that hump.
Oh, it's so hard
with the market still being available to hedge on. I'm just taking the under here, and we've talked about it. When I looked earlier today, even it was at 70%. So it's trending downwards. So
what is going on with our girl Margot? Why is she not landing these planes?
I don't think she can
I will
carry
say.
it, no.
Like probably my favorite way to bet this, probably Jake, what you've talked about in the past, like you can move these Kalshi lines, you can alt them. So I would consider like, can we alt this up to maybe a 73, a 74%? I don't know if the juice will be worth it at that point, what odds you're going to be getting back for it, but that is almost kind of how I would like to play because I am
it's already
with Jake.
At 68. And usually Rotten Tomatoes, it's going to go down. it's just going to keep going down.
Right. But I just want to make sure there's no tomfoolery here and that it's going to end up at like a 71. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch like around the side.
Yeah. So give me a little like a 73 or 74% line, and maybe I would take the under at that. A 70 line, it's a good line. They, give it to the handicappers and the peer-to-peers out there who have been, setting this at a pretty good one. I think honestly most of these lines we're going to talk about, Steve, today are pretty nicely set.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see kind of how close we can get. The model, we've tested it for a long time, right? It's been test after test after test after test before we put it out to you people, so that we're not just sending something out into the universe that's like we're not even close, right? Like the model wound up spitting out a 73. It's at a 68. So like you're in that realm. The next one I want to talk about, and I'm fascinated to hear your guys' thoughts on this one because I'm actually kind of excited for this movie, Crime 101. Here's what I'm not excited about. The line is 85%. That's a fucking high line. That's real aggressive. It's like really aggressive for a crime movie. You know what I mean? Like they're not reinventing the wheel here. This is a crime thriller. That's what we're getting here. So here's the deal, right? The line on Kalshi is 85. The model's line has it at 76. Are you guys more in line with Kalshi, or are you more in line with the model? And where are you kind of looking, Jake?
Yeah, I'm actually more in line with Kalshi here. It's currently only got about 45 reviews in thus far on Rotten Tomatoes, sitting at just under 90%. So it is trending, to maintain that score. We should be good.
Wow.
This is one though where I would feel more comfortable alting this line. If I can alt this down at all, probably alt this. Alt this up, actually. I would probably alt this up to 87 and probably take the under. I think it probably settles closer to the number of 85, and, alting it up to 87, I still get good profitability there. So that's probably the route I would go with this one.
Are you excited for it?
I'm very excited for this movie. It's a great cast. It's
a great cast.
Even with it being like you said, a crime thriller, sort of a story that we've heard before. Like from what I've seen on it so far, it actually feels like it's going to be a fairly unique kind of version of the story. So I'm hoping that can continue to help carry it a bit.
Shocking Rotten Tomato darling of late is Chris Hemsworth, coming off banger after banger that he's been in terms of Rotten Tomato score outside of Thor: Love and Thunder. He's really been knocking it out of the park. Especially when you think of like he was in Furiosa and and then Thor Ragnarok did great with the critics, but like even beyond that, his indie projects are doing really well. So Seth, are you number one excited for Crime 101? Is this something you'd watch? Is this a movie you'd enjoy? And do you think it's going to hold near that 90%? Do you think it's going to fall below this 85?
I'm definitely in line with Jake that I'm excited for it, right? I mean, we just saw The Rip come out here on Netflix within the last month or two, and that kind of just continues to prove that, hey, while it's always not the most original IP, you can still have a really good movie come out of it. I just worry that 85%, Steve, is too big of a line because the IP is not super original, right? You have the IP, the intellectual property score in there. It's a little bit lower than some of these other movies in the model this week. And for me, like, it's also a pretty unknown director. Like maybe you guys know Bart Layton a little bit more than I do. But really, like, I don't think he has enough scores out there to really move the needle at all. And like, to me too, I wonder, while Hemsworth has been really big with critics over the last, half decade or so, can they separate him and Mark Ruffalo from their Marvel roles together, right? That's something we haven't seen, is them both together in a movie. And also, like, let's not forget, this isn't like it's, Iron Man and, the Green Lantern or something, or just like an obscure character, Gambit. Let's go with Gambit.
Right.
Like these are two characters from Marvel movies who had so much charisma together, so much chemistry together, and also some really big moments in a lot of movies where it was just them two, really. So I just worry about that a little bit. So I'm actually on the under. This is my favorite play of the night. Not going to be crazy for me. Probably just going to be a unit and a half play, but I will take the under on this one. It's just too many question marks for me to want to take that over. Like if this was a 75% line, I'm on the over. But I think I'm more in line with what our model's telling us here.
Yeah, I do have worries about it. It's so funny that Ruffalo's in another one of these because he's in Task right now, right, on Apple
Mhm.
TV, and then he almost can't help because he was in Zodiac forever ago
Right.
and played the exact same role. Like every time Mark Ruffalo needs to get back into like the zeitgeist, I guess he just goes and plays a cop that's like hunting somebody. Like every single time, he just like is like, that's what I'll do, and I'll get back into it, and everyone will love me. I'm with Jake. I think I'd like to alt this line a bit. I think I'd like to alt it up, get it to like that 87 because reviews have come in. That scares me, right? Like I do think it'll fall. I could take the under on this and probably feel pretty good. It feels like a movie that isn't going to hold great, but Hemsworth has proven me wrong in the past. I mean, Furiosa came in at like a 90, which was shocking to say the least.
Do we have a current line on this, Steve or Jake? Is there?
Yeah, so the live forecast is sitting at 87.8 on Kalshi.
Okay.
That's a tough. That's a line.
I mean, if you believe in the model, we're at 75.9. I'm gonna believe in you, Steve. I'm believing that big brain of yours. I'm gonna take the under on this. So I think it's our first fight of the night.
Yeah,
Here, boys.
the model doesn't. Oh, all right. Let's talk about maybe the most controversial movie that we're going to cover today. Scream 7. The 7th installment in the Scream franchise is sitting at over under 75 on Kalshi right now. That is the line. The model has it at 70. Seth, do you go over or under for Scream 7?
I really want to hear your guys' opinion on this, Steve. I know you're a big horror fan, a big Scream fan.
I am.
For me, it's a no bet off the top, just because 4 out of 6 Scream movies have gone over this number. Actually, they typically do pretty well.
They do.
The issue though is, can it continue to do well, right? I will say, I think this concept of a movie starting at the Airbnb was really cool in the previews. It got a little bit of marketing buzz right off the rip too, being there in the Super Bowl. So I think like it is trending upwards to me. It just felt like almost like in that trailer, we were watching almost like 2 different movies, right? Where it was like, okay, we're watching this haunted Airbnb, and now it's every other Scream, right? We're calling the OG girl back and disrupting her life in a small town. So it just, I don't know how all that settles. So it's a no bet for me, but I think I can be persuaded either way from you two gentlemen.
I'm nervous. This is the first Scream movie to take place outside of Woodboro, kind of like leaving Woodboro.
Yeah.
I suppose Scream 3 did a little bit, if I'm correct, Jake. They went Hollywood a bit, but
I don't remember. That movie was ass.
Here's the issue that it's running into. This is a controversial movie because they fired their lead pretty like unceremoniously, let their lead go from Scream 6, and now like people are angry because the actress spoke out for what she thought was an injustice in the world and gets fired for it, where other people weren't fired for some of their comments. And then they kind of had to go into panic mode, and some real PR moves had to be made where they had to bring Neve Campbell back, where Neve Campbell had said no to Scream 6. She was like, I don't want to do another Scream movie. I'm not interested. And they basically had to back up the Brinks truck, get Neve Campbell to sign on again. And now we're following her out. There are rumors that Matthew Lillard will be reprising his role as Stu from the first one. A lot of stuff that feels like they are trying very, very hard to get people back in the good graces, where there was this backlash to them firing their lead, and her name is escaping me right now, and it's driving me nuts. Jake usually has this in the bag for me, and he's gonna say her name, and it's gonna drive
Jenna
me
Ortega.
The other one, not Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega. No, also no.
Melissa Barrera.
Melissa Barrera left. They fired Melissa Barrera. Jenna Ortega went with her. Right. So that is
taking my toys and going home type of situation.
She was like,
out there.
She was like, you treated her like garbage. I'm out. And that's a pretty big indictment.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm worried about this. The model has it at 70. I think that's probably where it's going to sit. 70, 69, 68. That just feels like what this movie is.
So you're on the under?
I'm on the under because it feels like a retread. And I think it's going to be too much of a retread for critics to get past.
What do you
Jake,
think,
do you
Jake?
agree?
Who the fuck is asking for more Scream movies?
Oh, me.
Steve.
Usually.
Steve.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy, man.
We
He's
have
the guy.
good horror movies we could watch instead.
But I love Scream. They're my favorites.
The OG, sure. 2, fine. After that, they've all been dog shit. I will hear no arguments against it. This may be just a personal bias pick. I'm fully on the under. If I could alt this down to 45, I'm taking the under.
Wow.
I'm not
Big
doing that.
plus money.
That's why we don't bet with our
That's why we don't bet with our hearts.
Yeah, that just would be a really bad
Yeah, it's just
idea.
I have zero interest in this movie. When we were talking like earlier, where Seth brought up like we've done Jurassic Park to death, we've done Scream to death. We don't need.
We may have
more of
done
this.
Scream to death because it's starting to. Just
Well,
feel
because we also
repetitive.
did it with Scary Movie, like, comedically, right? So it was like,
Well, that's why
I know
Scary
that,
Movie kept doing it, was because they were like, are they really making this movie again?
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I have no idea what to make out of this next movie, The Bride. Maggie Gyllenhaal directing. Over under 75%. Model's got it at just about 79.5. Bordering on 80. I don't know what this movie is. It's The Bride of Frankenstein. I know that. It has Christian Bale walking around like a very functional Frankenstein with the whole like sewed on head and everything. It looks fucked up. It looks weird. It's visually somewhat appealing. It's odd. It has like the black, inky grossness all over the bride's face. I speak for the model. It says it'll go over, so I will. Jake, what do you think?
I'm on the under here. Like you said, I don't know. Again, like what is the purpose of this movie? What is it going to be? I have no idea. But I do know that critics tend to not like when you try and redo an original story. Like The Bride of Frankenstein is a thing we know. Like that's been a thing for a long time here. When you're trying to kind of recreate that story in the 1930s of all time frames, like it doesn't make sense to me.
It's weird.
I don't trust Maggie Gyllenhaal as director personally. It's got a strong cast, but I feel like I feel like we're just going to get a bunch of people character acting, and I don't feel like I can see us watching this movie one day and being like, I kind of think everybody hates each other. Like I struggle to see good chemistry out of a majority of the actors and actresses in the film.
Yeah, especially based on the trailer. Someone needs to look in on Christian Bale. The prime is over for Christian Bale, right? His prime years have surpassed, and it's not a talent issue. It's a role picking issue. He went on a generational run, right? Like he went with Nolan for a while, and then had like some of those great movies, like The Prestige was amazing. And then obviously he did like The Dark Knight and nailed that.
Big Short.
And then The Big Short was really good. Then he, obviously did like The Machinist, and that was like a whole thing where he lost like a gazillion pounds and looked like he was dying. Seth, do you have any feeling on The Bride? Just like a gut feeling where you like watch this trailer, it's kind of like mindfucky. What are you feeling?
It's definitely weird, right? But like I will say, I think it's all going to come down to the visuals. Like, what are the visuals on this? Because
right,
you look at like other Frankenstein movies have done really well. I mean, we just this last year, right? I mean, you typically get this type of movie that does well. And I'm with Jake. I don't think Maggie has a super depth repertoire that we should be like, oh, this is a slam dunk. But you look at two of her bigger projects, Homemade coming out during COVID time, 94%, The Lost Daughter, 94%. It's like she has been pulling some absolute gainer numbers out here. It's a no bet from me because I really truly think this is the biggest wild card on the table. I think
it's a huge swing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could see this with an 83%, but I wouldn't be surprised too if it comes in at a 55, right? So, and I actually was kind of against, like, I actually didn't think the cast was that great, to be honest, because I'm kind of in your camp, Steve, where it's like, I don't know what we're going to get from Christian Bale these days. It feels like the lead is a little bit lackluster to me. And then like Jake Gyllenhaal has his moments, but like at the same time, like he's not the most popular guy out there on the internet either these days.
Yeah, that's true. I always thought Jake Gyllenhaal would have a bigger career. I feel like
Taylor Swift zapped it from him. Zapped him. Taylor Swift zapped him with a 10-minute version, baby.
Yeah, it's just like, but like coming off of Brokeback Mountain and Zodiac, he just you felt like he was gonna do something, right? Like something, and then he did Nightcrawler, and like that was unbelievable, and it just never came together. I feel like should have been a point where we thought Jake Gyllenhaal was the biggest star in the world, and he just never got there.
Yeah, it's
Great
basically
point.
like when you look at what he's done, like after Southpaw, which I thought was really, really good, it's just a bunch of nothing burgers until like
Great point.
it's basically nothing until like Roadhouse, or I like Guy Ritchie's The Covenant in like 2023. So he had like a 6-year stretch where it was just like a bunch of
Guy
nothing.
Ritchie has a weird, like, little like grip on my heart where like he puts something out and I'm usually like, oh, I kind of liked that, like the Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
movies, Aladdin. Like he has a weird, he has a weird directorial repertoire. Like I'm like, why does he? Like, it's so strange.
Can we also say, while we're on Jake Gyllenhaal, best Jake Gyllenhaal movie, October Sky? I'm gonna die on that hill. And also, absolutely terrible in the Spider-Man role. I mean, that was probably the worst villain I've seen.
Mysterio, you didn't like him?
No, I didn't. It felt like Jake Gyllenhaal in a Superman suit. Like I'm good.
The best Jake Gyllenhaal movie is Donnie Darko, by the way. But
the best Jake Gyllenhaal movie is Zodiac. Let's not get too crazy here. Nightcrawler would be a close second for me.
Nightcrawler's firmly third. I would put Zodiac too.
Zodiac's so good. If you haven't seen Zodiac,
I'm just
go watch it. It's so good.
Emo kid at heart, so Donnie Darko, right up my alley.
Zodiac then.
I do. It's really good.
Yeah, it's
Donnie Darko has a nostalgia factor for me, I think.
That's fair.
October Sky doesn't?
No.
Come on. That's like probably the worst take you guys have ever had, honestly.
If it's a movie that they let me watch while I was in school, it probably wasn't that good.
That's exactly where I saw it for the first time. I loved it. Appreciate it.
I did not see it at school. All right. We've reached the sad part of this episode where we have to say goodbye, but we are bringing you a special, shorter, but nonetheless jam-packed episode where we do our Mount Rushmore, because we want to make sure that your Valentine's Day and all your date nights going forward are magical for you and whoever it is that you are on a date with. Whether it's the first time you've been on a date with them, the 3,000th time you've been on a date with them, let's make sure that you and your special someone have a great night. So we are going to break down our Mount Rushmores of the best date night movies of all time. But before we go, and before we reach that sad part, please remember to subscribe to the IBT Entertainment family. You can get so much by joining our conversation with our analysts, entry into our memorabilia giveaways. And if you do upgrade for $3.99 a month or $36 for the whole year, you get exclusive monthly betting model access, our full entertainment betting picks, and entry into award shows and other leagues. But we are giving you a gift of that free entry into the Survivor 50 League. Seth has so excitedly spoken about it. Him and Rob broke down every player on another episode of Popcorn and Root Beer to give you guys a leg up in this competition. So please make sure that you are signing up for both of these. We have reached the sad point of this episode where we do have to say goodbye to the people. So for myself, for Seth Woolcock, for Jake Perry, that's a wrap.